What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. You know, we're really trying to pump up a bunch of content on this channel. We're pumping out 3 videos a week right now, and all of it is designed to help you guys catch more bass. You know, that's really the goal of my entire channel, is to help you guys, the viewers, the subscribers, to catch more bass out on the water. So hopefully you guys can learn something from this video, but I appreciate all you guys hitting the subscribe and always liking and commenting. You know, I see it, I read all the comments, so I appreciate all you guys always leaving those comments and continuing to grow this channel. So today we're talking about some interesting baits. You know, these are going to be my favorite baits for fishing around bluegill eating bass. You know, so this is going to be around the bluegill spawn, you know, maybe while the bass are spawning and there's a bunch of bluegill around. So these are my best bluegill imitating soft plastics. We're going to kind of go through, we're going to give up some juice. You know, these are some baits that you may not have ever heard of. There's some very interesting baits and some interesting rigging to them as well. So it's going to be a cool video. You're going to want to stick around and check out some of these things. So if you guys are ready, let's jump in and open up the good old box of tricks here and show you guys a few things about fishing around bluegill. Okay, so this here is my little box of bluegill imitating baits, and I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek of this little guy right here. How many of you guys know what that thing is right there? So that's one of the baits we're going to be talking about today. We're going to dive into that whole rigging setup along with these guys. I'm sure you guys have seen these. Maybe you haven't, but this is some very interesting stuff right here, and these are some of my favorite baits for fishing around bluegill. And you know, it's just that perfect profile of bluegill. Okay, I think I got everything I need out of this box. Can't show you everything that's in the box of tricks, but we're going to show you a few of them here today. But anyway, so let's talk about this guy right here first. So this is, let's get him unrigged. This is the Core Tackle Ozark rig. So this is basically a jig head that has the lead all the way down the shank of the hook. Kind of has a keeper built in to the lead that helps keep that bait on. And this is an excellent rig, or I don't even know what you would call this. I guess a jig head for these bluegill style plastics that like to glide. You know, the whole thing about these style baits, this profile of bait, obviously it looks like a bluegill, it's rounder, but they like to glide. You know, like they don't fall straight down, they don't fall to the side, they like to just kind of catch water and glide. So they can, you know, glide away from you, glide towards you, glide under boat docks, stuff like that. And this Core Tackle Ozark rig really helps with that. So, you know, this here, what is this bait? This is the OSP Do Live SS Gill, and that's this bluegill profile bait I have in my hand right here. But basically there's more of a rounder side and then there's more of a flat side, and for me, I like to rig the flat side down, so that's going to be the side that has the weight on it. Now there's a couple ways to rig the Ozark rig. You could, you know, go through here and thread this bait all the way up through your lead like this. But since we don't have any line tied onto this already, I really like to just, you know, basically run it through backwards. So I'm going to start like this, you know, make that entrance hole and then just run the eye through backwards like that. That way it doesn't tear up that plastic as much, and now you got nice fresh plastic that is going to hold that bait right there. And then this is, you know, just like your standard Texas rig with any other style bait. You just rig him up like that. And that's exactly how I had him rigged up. But now this bait is going to glide bottom first. These little tails are going to kick, and it's going to look just like a little bluegill. So, you know, if you're fishing around the bluegill spawn or bed fishing when there's a bunch of bluegill around, you know, this bait right here is going to be absolutely killer. And I have not found a better way to rig this than the Core Tackle Ozark rig. You know, it just really helps this bait glide. If you put this on just a straight Texas rig or a flipping style bait, you know, it wants to just fall kind of straight down and just those little tails kick. You know, it doesn't quite glide as much as with the Ozark rig. So that right there is an excellent setup for fishing around the bluegill. Next up, let's move on to the next bait, and that would be the bull flat. So these have been pretty popular here lately. It's a similar style bait, but a little different tail on the back. You know, it's got that same wide profile, but it's got a few appendages here. And then this tail just kicks a little bit different than the, what was that one? The SS gill. So this one kicks more like this rather than individually. So it has that same sort of flatter side and more of a rounder side. So you can rig him up the same way on the Ozark rig. But another cool way to rig up these style baits is on the Core Tackle hover rig. You know, it gives it that same sort of profile, but what I really like about the hover rig is you're able to almost hold it in place and kind of, you know, don't let it sink near as much, but it just kind of hovers there. You know, that's what the hover rig's all about, is just kind of hovering it, kind of suspended in the water column. So let's pull out the smaller size. So this is the 3-inch size, and the first one was the 3.8-inch size. So this smaller size just kind of fits better in these hover rigs that I have pulled out here. So we're going to go with the smaller one. But this right here, I mean, if you guys aren't familiar with the hover rig, there's a ton of information out there on it. But basically, it's just a jig head with a little bit of lead on it. And I like to use the one with the wire weed guard, especially fishing around, you know, cover, boat docks, whatever I'm doing with the bull flat here. So essentially rigging the hover rig, you're going to go through where your line tie is going to end up being. So my line tie is going to end up starting right there, or end up finishing right there, I guess. So that's where I'm going to start my hook. And then you're just going to go straight down the bait, straight through the middle, pull him out like that. And then this is where it gets a little tricky, where you pull the weight down inside the bait like this, okay? And then you kind of need to tuck that head back into the bait just like that. And now that jig head is buried inside there, so this is going to kind of glide again just like that. But you're able to hold this and kind of hover it in the water column. And you know, as you jiggle this, that bait is just going to kind of hover there, and it's going to look like kind of an injured bluegill, and or really aggravate those fish that are on a bed. So this right here is one of the most deadly bed fishing baits out there. Just imitates that bluegill perfectly, and you can't beat that. So these are a couple of my favorite ways to rig the old bluegill imitating baits. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've ever seen these crazy bluegill imitating baits, and if you've used them, had any success with them. I've been kind of keeping them under my hat a little bit here lately, but figured appreciate all you guys always subscribing and helping to grow the channel. So we're going to drop a little knowledge and drop a little juice for you guys this spring, and hopefully help you guys catch a few more fish around the bass spawn, and then in turn around the bluegill spawn. So hopefully you guys learned something. Like I said, drop those comments down below. Let me know what you think of these baits and if you've ever seen them before. I'm not sure exactly where they're available right now. You know, I don't even know where I've bought them. You know, I buy tackle from some sketchy Japanese websites, and I may have picked them up from there, so I'm not sure. But appreciate you guys watching this video. As always, leave me those likes and comments down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.